Hey folks, Labruski here, back in a new comics corner. I hope everyone is doing well. Today's comic that we are going to be talking about is Extremity by Daniel Warren Johnson and colors by Mike Spicer. But before we dive into that, if you could please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. It helps out the channel a whole bunch. And for whatever reason, I always fail to mention the fact that we do have a Discord. So, link to that in the description. And yeah, we talk all sorts of comics, movies, video games, the whole 9 yards. So, I would love to have you guys join and join the community and join the conversation. So, the story of Extremity takes place in a distant future where islands, big chunks of land, has risen up and become floating islands for some reason. And humanity has seemingly destroyed themselves. So, in this book, there's not too many humans left on Earth, and the ones that are have kind of formed clans and been at war with each other for forever. So this book in particular follows Thea. She is the daughter of a leader of the clan or the Rhodos, and she is an artist. And when she was younger, a rival clan, the Pans Nina, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, they do a raid on this clan and try to wipe them all out. And so this story really follows the Rhodos' revenge on this foreign clan, and it's all about that revenge and whatnot. And the story is very brutal at times, and really the theme of this book is that revenge is bad. That war is just a vicious cycle that, if you get caught up into it, will never end, and it's incredibly difficult to break that cycle. So let's break down some of the characters. I'm going to talk about 3 characters here. There are others, but I'm going to try not to go into spoilers because I think this book is definitely worth a read. And it has a lot of twists and turns that I did not see coming, so I encourage the viewers out there to go ahead and check this one out. But the main character that we follow is Thea. Like I said, she is the daughter of the leader of the Rhodo clan, and she's an artist. And during that raid that I mentioned before, the Panzanina, like I said, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, one of their members chops off her arm, in particular her drawing arm. So she has this mechanical arm, but she's not confident in her abilities to draw as an artist anymore, and that affects her life deeply. And that drives a lot of her revenge. Another character we have is her brother, Rollo. No, not like the candy. Her brother, he seems to be a bit of a historian and is very curious about the world and the history of humanity and whatnot. And in this world, a lot of the history of the old world is gone. They don't know what happened, why these islands have risen up, what the old world was like. You do find out through the course of the book a little bit about it. And Rollo, like I said, he's kind of the historian. He's also a bit of a pacifist. I think he recognizes that humans kind of destroyed themselves, and he does not want the new world and their clan to kind of fall in the same trappings. So he definitely protests a lot of the revenge plots and whatnot that the Rhodo clan tries and takes on the Panzanina. The third character I'm going to talk about is the father, Jerome. He's the leader of the Rhodo. The leader of the Rhodo is also called ABBA, like the band. And his main goal is just revenge. In that raid, his wife, and the mother of Thea and Rollo were killed, and he needs that revenge, and that drives all his motivations throughout this book. So now that we've talked a bit about the story and then also the characters, I want to dive into the good. What I really love about this book. The first thing that I noticed that I really love about this book is the world that Daniel Warren Johnson builds. Right, this is not a futuristic society with advanced technologies and whatnot. It's none of that. The world that is introduced is a little barbaric in a lot of ways. Um, and, like I said, there's no advanced technology really, at least in their day-to-day lives and whatnot. And, you ask yourself, why did this happen to this world? Why did humans destroy themselves? Why are there floating islands now? Right? That doesn't really make sense. And we do kind of get some answers, but not all the answers that I wanted. But I don't think that necessarily hurts the reading experience of this book, because really that's not the main focus um, of this book at all. The next thing I love is the artwork by Daniel Warren Johnson. I think I've said this in previous videos, but Daniel Warren Johnson is just one of my favorite artists working today. And he's also an excellent writer. A lot of his indie books he writes and then also does the artwork on. So it's very clear that he has a specific vision in mind and a specific goal when he goes into creating a comic book. And here is no exception to that. You absolutely feel that he had a vision, he had a goal, and he was set out to make that. You do have Mike Spicer on the colors, which he does a fantastic job. You have beautiful, beautiful double splash pages throughout this book of beautiful landscapes and whatnot. I love the way the action is done. I think Daniel Warren Johnson excels at action pages and action panels. The way he incorporates action into his books is just so well done. And it's so vibrant. The action almost like jumps off the page, I feel like. And it just reads so well. Next thing I really love is Daniel Warren Johnson really utilizes the page turn in this comic book, right? A lot of comic book writers I noticed don't necessarily utilize that page turn. Here, Daniel Warren Johnson, there are so many great twists and turns throughout this book, and he knows when to reveal something on the next page, and it just adds so much to the reading experience. I really appreciated that. Next thing, and the final thing that kind of caught me off guard, to be honest, is I did get a little emotional at the end. I did find myself throughout the book not necessarily having too much emotions with the characters. Not that I didn't like them, but a lot of the characters are almost they're very flawed in a lot of ways, right? On their quest for revenge, they do some not so good things, right? So that's emotional depth for me didn't always land throughout the book, but at the end, I was very much caught off guard. Like I got goosebumps. I was like, "Holy smokes, what is going on?" I didn't cry, um, but I did feel a lot of emotion towards the end of this book, as I do with other books I've read by Daniel Warren Johnson, in particular, Murder Falcon. That book just wrecked me when I read the ending of that. So Daniel Warren Johnson knows how to really make the reader feel something, which is just amazing. So the bad. Let's talk a little bit about what I didn't like. Now, to be honest with you, there wasn't much. I really only noticed one thing that's very small, kind of nitpick, to be honest with you. But I think the theme was a little redundant, right? Like revenge is bad, it becomes a vicious cycle. That's repeated throughout the book and is made very clear within like the first issue. Um, so I think that gets a little tiresome. It's just very kind of on the nose. But other than that, I couldn't think of anything else that I disliked about this book. I mean, the art is just A plus. I think it's fantastic. The story is solid. Um, it's a very action heavy book. It can be very brutal at times and it can be just very gory, right? And I think that's really to depict how revenge can have such a uh, uh, bad impact on people's lives and whatnot. Um, but yeah, so I really don't have anything super negative to say about this book. So that's going to do it for today's episode. I encourage everyone to check this book out. Daniel Warren Johnson is one of my favorite creators working in comics today, to be honest with you. I think anything he writes or does the art for, I am going to check out. I just love his stories that much, and I've yet to read Do a Powerbomb. I'm kind of holding off for the deluxe, but that hasn't even been announced yet. So I may just kind of bite the bullet and buy the trade paperback. And if I really love the story, which I think I will, I'll buy the deluxe whenever that comes out. Um, but yeah, definitely give this one a read. Check out Daniel Warren Johnson's other works. Murder Falcon was great. I think I'm going to do a video on that eventually. And yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I am going to give this book a rating too. I want to start rating my books on a scale between 1 through 10. And I'm going to give this book a 9 out of 10. I really think, as far as comics goes today, you're not going to find a more original story, not only from a story perspective, but a more original comic, I guess I should say, from an art perspective. Like I said, the action in this book, the way it's depicted and drawn, is just spectacular. So, yes, I will be giving this book a 9 out of 10. Yeah, we will see you in the next Comics Corner next week. Take care, folks.